This is Carlos Cousins. The following SAT writing question is asking you to figure out what the best wording of the sentence here is. You want to watch out for punctuation. We've got a semicolon as choice B. The original has just a comma here. Answer choice C is going to have a semicolon at the end, and this last answer choice, which you know to be the right answer choice, has a period. So why is this one the right answer? It turns out that if you have a comma here, you're going to have a comma splice. You've got they argue, okay, so this is sort of what they're arguing, a whole new sentence. Pluto's classification as a dwarf planet. We've got our subject here, needs or needs to be, which would be our like verb clause, and then reconsidered, which would be our object. So we've got a full sentence here. This is already an independent clause. And then we have a comma. Far from being a dead, icy piece of rock hurtling through the reaches of the solar system, comma, Pluto is. So this looks like a completely different sentence. We can't have two independent clauses as part of the same sentence. I know that this one in the middle was dependent, but this Pluto is has a subject again, a verb again, and a lively world, this object again. So we've got two full sentences in the same sentence. So two independent clauses. That's why A can't be correct. For B, we've got this semicolon here, which sets apart far from being a dead icy piece of rock as a valid thing. Just like this one, we have a period here. But we also have a period at the end. So that this whole thing then, this in between, which you just said was a dependent clause, would have to be an independent clause. It would have to be a full sentence. But far from being a dead icy piece of rock hurtling through the outer reaches of the solar system doesn't have a clear subject and verb. So because that's a dependent clause this time, that's wrong. And for answer choice C, Pluto's classification as a dwarf planet needs to be reconsidered, comma, far from being a dead icy piece of rock hurtling through the outer reaches of the solar system. So if you did this, that would imply that this is just a meaning part now. This part of the sentence has something to do with the previous part of the sentence, rather than the other way around. That Pluto's a lively world that deserves a place as a full planet despite or far from being a dead icy piece of rock, right? But this one seems to link these two ideas together, that Pluto's classification needs to be reconsidered far from being a dead icy piece of rock hurling through the outer reaches of the solar system. That doesn't really make sense in the context that it exists. So that's why D ends up being our best answer choice. Watch how we've got a period here. So that means we've got an independent clause before the period and an independent clause, a dependent clause, comma, independent clause after, which is totally okay. I hope that helped with this problem, and happy prepping.